Hi. Um, this is probably going to, be one of those things that who knows what will come out of my mouth and where it'll go. But I just I just really felt like there needed to be some some dialogue, some thought process going on with how we're dealing with the world, how we're dealing with ourselves. Are any of us really doing good? Like the last 2 years has been hard. There's been a lot of hardness going on with how we look at things, how we treat people, how how we adjust, how we deal with things, and really, I just think I think it's important. I think that's important that we acknowledge what we've all been going through the last 2 years. Because I think at this stage in the game, everything's starting to come to a head. We're almost at the boiling point, the tipping point, where we either need to shit or get off the pot, pretty much. And when I say that, I mean, what are we going to do on an individual basis to reconnect with people, to try to mend friendships, relationships, family. But more importantly, what are we going to do to make a change? How are we going to step forward into the world in one of the scariest times we've seen, at least in my life? And I know that I've been going through a lot of soul searching. There has been a lot happen in my life over the last little while. And I won't get into details of it right now, but it kind of set me on a path of discovery, of wanting to know more about I how I became who I am. I've been having to look at a lot of the fundamentals of what's inside of me, my own characteristics, my how my upbringing has affected me and it carried through into my adult life, how it's affected my relationships, how people perceive me, what I want what I want to do in this world, how I want to make my life mean something, how I want it to be better, how I want to be better. I think it's really, really important that we all take time to think about those things and to maybe reflect, do a little soul searching, write it down, journal it, blog it. You know, when a thought crosses your mind, put it on a sticky note, put them somewhere where you can sit and look at them. Anything, really. You just have to it's time to reconnect. Now, there's been an awful lot of opportunity over the last couple of years for us to reconnect with ourselves. But have we? Or have we just been trying to function? Have we just been trying to make it through the day to day? How we have been completely torn away from the life that we knew, the lifestyle that we had, the people that were in our lives, the way that we wanted to go about our days. We weren't allowed to do that anymore. But have we really only just been surviving? Have we just been taking it one moment at a time because that's all we could do? How many of us tried to keep things normal? I mean, really, in the grand scheme of things, my life didn't change a lot. I didn't think when it came to the my daily routine. Yes, I laid off all my staff. But I still got up every morning and I still got to go to work. I worked alone for 60-ish hours a week. It was really hard work because it was work of a whole team that I was now doing on my own, and it was increased. It allowed me to find focus, drive, determination more than I thought I had. But was I focusing it in the right way? I think necessarily, not necessarily, but it was definitely the way I needed to focus it to kind of, you know, get through things. I I know that a lot of people whose jobs changed, even if they started working from home or anything like that, they didn't get dressed every day, or at least not fully. They were in jogging pants from the waist down, and they still, might have done their makeup or anything. But I got up every day and I dressed as if I was going to work. I put my makeup on. I made my coffee. I went. I did my job. I came home. I flung my bra off. Put my flip flops on. Got comfy and just tried to decompress from what was going on. I think I spent an awful lot of time just being numb because that was the only way to get through things. The first lockdown really hit me physically. The second lockdown really hit me emotionally. Um, and I think it was kind of a turning point for me to realize that, some things needed to change. I needed to do things a little differently. But over the last couple of months, there's been a lot of things happen in my life. Big things. A lot of change. But I've realized that I want more. I want more. I'm perfectly capable of spending time with myself. I'm very comfortable being alone with myself. I'm a pretty awesome person. So, you know, it's pretty easy to sit and hang out with myself. um, but I want to get a point across to everybody that I'm a very kind, genuine person. I'm honest, I'm gentle, I'm sweet. Um, and I don't want it to sound like I'm bragging because I'm not. But those are characteristics of mine that have allowed me to grow in my life, allowed me to connect with people, allowed me to, get certain things done. Through all of this, a lot of people have changed. Through fear, through anxiety, through differences of opinions, through the unknown, through all kinds of things. And that scares me. I'm a very empathetic person. I listen and I observe and I feel things differently than a lot of people. I look at the world a lot differently than a lot of people. And what's really, really been the hardest thing for me is to see how people are treating each other. I mean, I live in a community that's not very big. I mean, the valley where I live, we all know each other. Or if you don't know him personally, you know his uncles, brothers, cousins, whatever. You know who somebody is. You're able to find that 6 degrees of separation or whatever from you for pretty much anybody who's around you. We were a very open community, a very loving community, supportive community. Very nice. It's one of the things we're known for here in the Maritimes, the Valley specifically, is how kind we are and how generous and nice and helpful. But I have watched people that I respected, that I held in a pretty high standing for how they treated other people. I've watched them deteriorate through all of this, and they've become mean. They've turned on each other. They've said horrible things. They've been deceitful, and they're not trusting, and they're shaming and guilting and just being horrible. And that hurts my heart. That hurts my soul. Through everything, I've remained kind. I've remained genuine. I've remained respectful. I haven't cared what your opinion was, or your stance, or your choice. The only thing that mattered to me was that I wasn't going to treat you any differently than I always have. I would welcome discussions, because I think that that's one thing that is good. If you can have an open, responsible adult conversation with somebody and realize that it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to agree, but sometimes it helps you see somebody else's point of view. Sometimes it helps you adjust your own opinion or your own thought process. Maybe they're looking at something a different way. Maybe they offered up a suggestion of something that you hadn't thought of, or at a time you weren't open to exploring that, and during this conversation you became that way. I think it's really, really important for me as an individual, as a human, to always look at life like that. I always want to be the person that is searching, the person that is open, the person that is kind. I really wish the world was more like that. I really do, because honestly, it'll win out. I wish people could not be so judgmental, so easy to turn, so scared. Being scared's okay if it's done in the right way. I mean, you can be scared to start something new. You can be scared to want something. You can be scared for a lot of reasons, and sometimes that's really good, because sometimes if you're scared, it means you're on the right path, because it's pushing you, it's challenging you, it's making you grow. It's offering you new opportunities. But right now, the opportunity that I think a lot of us have is that it's time to get back to a time when we could be genuine and kind and respectful and loving and open to people. It's soon going to be time to embrace people again. And I really think that that's important. And I really hope that a lot of you might be open to that, where you haven't been for the last couple of years. We may not always be able to control the outcome of a situation, but we sure as hell can control how we react to it. And that's been one of the scariest things, is because seeing how people are reacting to things, it's left an impression. It's imprinted now on our beings, on our hearts, on our souls, on our brains. And I'm worried that we won't be able to get back to a better place. All I know is that throughout it all and going forward and pre all of this bullshit, I'm the same person that I was then, during, now, and going forward. But I've also started to become more aware that certain aspects of my personality will allow me to help people maybe bridge that gap. Maybe I can help them come across that high-rise tightrope wire, the scary thing to cross again. Maybe if I or you just lead by an example, show people that the world can be good. People can be good. They are good. For the most part. I mean, yeah, there's some assholes out there that no matter what, they're not going to be good people. But then you got a person like me who's like, no, I know there's good in there. I'm sure we can find it. We can pull it out, right? Yeah, I got to learn to let go of that a little bit sometimes too. But I think that it's important to start to move forward, be kinder, be compassionate, listen to people. And not just listen, hear what they're saying. Maybe try to listen to what they're not saying. Try to find the connection. Try to be good and kind. Please. The world needs more of that right now. Because it's a pretty shitty, scary place. And I think every one of you that maybe watch this video have the opportunity to start being the change that we want to see. And that might sound cliche, but it's the truth. Be the change you want to see. We have children. We have so many children that have been born during the last 2 years because, well, there was, excuse me, there was not a whole hell of a lot else to do. So there's going to be a whole generation of people born during this time. Now, will the feelings and the emotions and the experiences and the stress and the anxiety and the panic and all of the things that we were all feeling, the uncertainty, will all of that somehow be imprinted in these children's DNA going forward? Who knows? Who knows? I mean, the body, the mind, science, all of these things, they're weird. The universe does things in weird ways. And honestly, who knows? The DNA, the genetic makeup, the everything of how that child is in the world could be affected by all of that. So maybe it's time to make sure that we're nurturing the right characteristics, the right values, the right morals, the right compass in those children. Maybe it's time we reevaluate and start doing those things for ourselves as well. Because the world's going to get better. One person at a time. And that's a long journey. But if more of us do it, the more of us become an army. And we can do it. So all I'm asking is that you please, everybody, just be kind. Be open. Start to reconnect with yourself. Evaluate how this has changed you for the worse or for the better. And adjust adjust your own reaction, adjust your own thoughts and ways you're going to do things going forward, because I think that that's really, really important. So this is my first video blog, the whatever we're going to call it, but it's my first video one. And so I'm going to try to do these daily. I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm a very busy girl, but I'm going to try to do them as often as I possibly can, and I'm going to talk about all kinds of different things. And maybe someday I'll have somebody else here with me talking, just having a conversation. I don't know. All I know is that I feel that I have something to say to people. I have an ability to be able to connect with people, to be able to talk to people, to look at things differently. People are comfortable with me. People feel like they're home with me at, you know, I don't know. It's just, I just really wanted to, instead of typing everything out, I just kind of wanted to sit down and talk to you and have you hear the inflection in my voice and see how things might look from my point of view. And all I can hope is that maybe I've said something that's going to strike a chord with you. Maybe I haven't. Maybe you think I'm completely off base. Maybe you think I'm bang on. It's okay. We can have a difference of opinion. We can have different thoughts. But I hope I can maybe at least make you smile, make you think. There may be a lot of you that watch this video that don't know who I am. There may be a lot of you that watch this video that do know who I am, because, you know, that's where I'm going to start. But if you like what you see, subscribe to the channel. Then you'll see when I post new videos. Send me messages, you know, whatever you want to do. If you want to connect, we can connect. If you don't, it's okay too. But all I know is that I want to share my love and my kindness and my thoughts with you. And I hope that you'll do the same, or at least you'll think, you know what? Maybe I can do better. So, I'm Nikki Gray, for anybody who doesn't know who I am. And I'm really looking forward to this journey. All right. Signing off for now.